Yeah, I got fired. I got let go from the second part-time IT job. I'm gonna get right into it, and ain't holding no punches really, man. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I kind of seen how Derek was kind of like treating myself and a few other employees up there. It just wasn't like his management style was just horrible, and I'm surprised that you know I'm pretty sure it's a really high turnover rate there, for the simple fact that if you got a person that's kind of creating like a hostile work environment and not making it so where you can kind of flourish, and not saying just do your own thing, but just where, okay, if you're telling me to do something, like say for instance we got a couple of different things that we need to be done around the office, and you saying it in a manner where do it or else, you know what I'm saying, it is that just creates a working like a very toxic work environment. And I kind of saw it. I saw the way he was actually treating me and a couple of the other like black employees, and him being black himself. It just was weird, man. I've experienced it like throughout my years, in various other different settings, in various other different jobs, but it was to the point where I kind of really had enough. And just them just working there within these few weeks, I already had checked out. I already kind of checked out on the first day, because I'm just trying to keep my peace. I'm just trying to avoid the nonsense. I'm trying to avoid the clicks. I'm trying to avoid, you know, you know, whatever they had, that whatever they thought they could kind of reel me into. I just wasn't going for it, because I more or less wanted to kind of take, hopefully grow into like a leadership role, and I wasn't trying to be all chummy buddy with everybody, because if I were to get into a leadership role, sometimes if you looking to aspire to be and like become a manager or supervisor or whatever, I've noticed like when you're trying to make that transition, sometimes it's really hard. um I would definitely say, like, if you aspiring to become like a manager, or you looking to move up, sometimes it's just not good to just be chummy buddy with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And just protect your peace, and just have a good work ethic, and that just kind of show that you dependable. That's only if, man, they recognize it, because some companies, they don't give a damn. You could be the absolute best worker. You could be the absolute, man, just all around great work ethic. You know what I'm saying? You're not causing discourse or anything like that, meaning that you're not causing a lot of problems, whatever. But some companies recognize it, some people don't. But this company, I knew it. I knew just out the gate, man, it was just going to be problems with me and Derek. But I start asking around, like, have you noticed, like, have you been like treated a certain way when you dealing with when you've been asked to do certain things? Like, what's the tone like? You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be like a sensitive person, oh my god, he yelled at me. But it's just like, if you just if you so say for instance, on site, if he asking me to, like, if he asked me like what was the time frame on like the imaging the computers, and you know and all that. Imaging the computers is basically like moving the user profile over to the new computer, and all that. And he was asking like, well, what's the time frame on there now? Granted, if you was in my shoes, you know what the time frame would be on, imaging a computer. And it was like, and I'm telling him like, well, it's looking like upwards to like about an hour and a half, because depending on like, and I ain't trying to talk over nobody here, it's depending on how fast the computer is. And that's what it really kind of boils down to. And depending on what type of software it is. And that's what it kind of boils down to. So, and he's like, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, I got this, that, and the other. for you. And then so I'm like, man, you just piling work on top of work on top of work on me. And I'm just like, wait a minute, like, you don't got any of these other guys that's like kind of just chilling, you know what I'm saying, that you kind of put on this job on top of the jobs that I already have to do. It's like, well, you know what I'm saying, like, if it's a lot that you can't handle, then you could probably you could probably leave. You know what I'm saying? I'm like really? Like, really? So you telling me, you know, I'm already got one task going on, and you dropping other tasks on top of me? Yeah, I probably could just leave. You know what I'm saying? So I just let it roll off my back. I just went back to what I was doing, and you know, he just kept on picking and nitpicking, just various different things, micromanaging, and just kind of seemed like he was just kind of homed in on me. And so I just went about the work day. Just didn't really say too much to him. Anytime he asked me like kind of one or two, like one word answers or whatever, and ultimately got done with my task and everything, got the computer image, did a few more. Those were a little more newer computers, and I was able to, like, finish that. And then at the end of the day, he's like, hey Ben, I want to talk to you. So I said, so what's going on, Derek? So he was like, well, I noticed that, it seemed like you was kind of overwhelmed with various different things here, and I feel like I think you may not be a good fit, so I'm gonna have to probably like let you go or whatever. And I said, oh, that's fine, you know what I'm saying? No problem. But the only thing about it is like, anything that you would ask me to do, I try to do it within the best of my ability or in a timely manner. But you got to keep in mind that if you piling various different tasks on top of me, there are other people here that can take over those other tasks, to move everything a lot smoother. But I don't know why you kind of homed in on me and kind of felt that I'm not a good fit. But hey, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the opportunity, whatever. So I dipped out, and that was pretty much the end of it, man. And I think a lot of people be in management that don't really need to be in management, that have these roles that they're really not really fit for it. And I think people, they give off a perception that they are capable of doing it, but in all actuality, if you constantly seeing their turnover just high and constant, people are not staying, and they're just not you're not retaining people, man, it is a problem. It is a manager problem. It's definitely a management problem. And companies and higher ups need to recognize this. You keep on keeping these same people in these positions where they just really just running like good people away, from your business. You may have your next star or your next manager that can kind of like bring a healthy work environment and a pretty solid team together, and you got this one guy that's just kind of like a cockfight or something. I don't know what his deal was, but it was to the point where I was fine with it. I said, I'm on to the next, man, and I'm not gonna harp on it. And I know with all the things that's been happening in the media and the news, I know a lot of people will be more than happy to kind of like having like a little part-time job. But I think my skill set, is good enough where I wouldn't have no problem finding something else, especially on with the work market. Work market is essentially like Uber Eats for like tech people. If you never checked it out, probably say check it out. If you're just trying to make some extra money, if you're a tech person and you're trying to make some extra money on the side, you can actually kind of bid on the various different tasks on there. So I'll probably say check that out. But yeah, man, it was crazy. I think at the end of the day, it was good for me and it was good for him. Because You know, I don't know how much more I could take the micromanagement and just the constant nitpicking, man. I'm too old for that, and it's fine. And if you in a situation like that, like, speak up. You know, speak up. You know, talk to your manager or whatever. I ain't saying, and it's messed up that, you know, you almost have to feel like you have to do that, and you think you can kind of resolve stuff with people. Some people, you would tell them like direct, like, hey man, like, this was what's going on, like, I feel this way, and they'll consider it, and then you know what, they'll be like, wait a minute, man, this MF man just told me about myself. Oh, let me make his life even more living hell. I've actually seen that. I've seen stuff like that. And when you kind of speak up for yourself and like tell people like, hey man, like you really, or hey miss, like, you really like making this work environment like a hostile work environment. And it's like, it's getting to the point like where my mental is not, I'm like, I'm checked out. I'm quiet quitting. I'm not going the extra mile because everything you telling me to do is something that you wouldn't even do yourself. Let me say that again. Everything you telling me to do is something that you wouldn't do yourself. So that's why people just be like, hey man, like, why am I breaking my back and going above and beyond when it's stuff that you probably not even doing. It's stuff that you're not doing. Anything you telling me you definitely wouldn't do yourself. You probably be off somewhere on the phone, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it was just good. You know, it was good, you know. So hopefully, you know, I can kind of make something shake and have another opportunity where I'm not being micromanaged, and, you know, somebody constantly looking over my shoulder, wondering, you know, when this is getting done and this, that, and the other. So, but yeah, man, this is like almost like the second job, man, that I almost got. I got let go from. You know, the phone situation with the free phones. I don't know if you've seen some of my other earlier videos. You know, second job, man, it's crazy. You know, but that was like totally out of my it was totally out of my control. And you know, it sometimes if you have people over you, you know, they do crazy stuff, man, like everybody else kind of suffers. But well, yeah, man, so what do y'all think about this whole situation, man? Like, you know, with these jobs, and you trying to find a job, and you know, you in between jobs, and you got a pretty decent skill set, or you working a gig job and stuff is just not looking up, man. Like, what do y'all think about that? Leave a comment below. But you know, kind of pivoting on to something else, but with YouTube, I've noticed just as of late too, haven't been on this bad boy, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things and really being more consistent. Another thing I've noticed too, man, my watch hours went down like tremendously. I had like 3 hours of watch time, and I don't know if that's, you know, if that's a thing where, if you know, if you're not on here, you're not posting as consistent, your watch hours kind of go down. Leave a comment below, or if you like one of the more advanced YouTuber or content creator, if you've experienced that. I don't know. I thought it was kind of crazy. So, but I really appreciate y'all clicking on this video. If y'all made it here, I appreciate it. You know, tell me like what's y'all thoughts, man. What kind of trials and tribulations, like not too much detail, like what kind of trials and tribulations that y'all been facing, you know, with trying to find a job or on a job. You know, you feel it's right to like kind of speak up for yourself, or you just want to suffer in silence. Certainly don't want to suffer in silence, man. But, or you know, how are things? You know, how are things in your market? You know, where you stay at? Like, how are jobs? You know, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate y'all clicking on the video, man. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.